Hello, this is a tutorial about the Minecraft mod Applied Energistics 2, and I want to show you how you can auto-craft charged Certus Quartz crystal and Flux crystal, because you actually need the charged Certus Quartz crystal in order to craft Flux crystal. Now for the charged Certus Quartz crystal you also need the Certus Quartz crystal, but making a farm for those and auto-crafting them is kind of complicated, because ideally you want flawless crystal buds, but in order to move those to your base, you have to store them in ME, like spatial components, and that is a bit involved. So I'm not going to cover it in this tutorial. I might make another one about this. So just so you know, I'm playing Minecraft version 1.20.1, and here we have a simple ME system, just an ME controller hooked up to here on this side an ME drive with a 1K ME item storage cell. Is currently empty. If we look into the ME crafting terminal, then for the auto crafting, we need first of all a crafting storage. You can just, this is the simplest one you can make, the 1K crafting storage. And obviously we also need energy. Now I'm in a creative world here, so I can use the creative energy cell, but you have your own source of power if you play survival. Now here we can see I'm just going to showcase what I've already built here. This is like a working setup for the auto crafting. So here we have these pattern providers, and these store the patterns. The patterns are like crafting recipes for these machines. So this one is for the charged Certus Quartz crystal. So if the ME pattern provider is connected to the ME system and has the pattern, then you can see this here, that you can auto craft it. Puts Certus Quartz crystals in there. We can actually, I'm just going to input one here to show this. So if we craft one of the charged ones, there you can see it, and it's already gone again. So because we have so much energy, this was quite fast. Now we have one of these, and this over here is the setup to craft the Flux crystals. Now here we also have a ME pattern provider with this pattern. So these patterns, I'm going to show you how to make them later. But so for the ME for the Flux crystals, in order to craft them, you actually need to throw stuff into water, 3 items, the charged Certus Quartz crystal, the nether quartz, and the redstone dust. And then you wait a bit, and you get 2 Flux crystal. Now, obviously, we need something to throw it into the water and to collect it. Applied Energistics actually has these blocks for it. It's the formation plane and the annihilation plane. The formation plane drops the items in a way from the network it's connected to, and the annihilation plane picks them up. We can here we actually have specified kind of what items the annihilation plane can even pick up, and that's specified in the storage bars. So it will only annihilate or pick up items which it can store in its own ME system, which is only the storage bus here. So it will give the fluid crystal back to the ME pattern provider here into its return inventory. And now when you autocraft it, the ME pattern provider sends, we can see here in this recipe, sends all the ingredients, so the charged Certus quartz crystal, the nether quartz and the redstone into this chest on top, which this ME import bus is going to pick up. Now, you can see here that we have separate ME networks here. For example, this ME pattern provider is on our main network, right? But then, this entire contraption has two additional networks. The one for the formation plane is blocked off with this quartz fiber, which we need for the system to get energy. And then we have another quartz fiber here for the annihilation plane, because we don't really, just to be sure, we don't want these networks to interact. But we obviously want to transfer energy, because else these devices won't work. Now the ME import bus, you don't really need to filter for items, but obviously you can filter for ingredients here. And then in the formation plane, you need to filter the items to import. And you also need to enable this block placement. By default, it's like this, but we need it like this, because we can't place our ingredients as blocks. Now, as for how the ME annihilation plane and the ME formation plane are like located to each other, you can see that the annihilation plane is on top and the formation plane on the bottom. I've tried a few other configurations, but this one was the most reliable I found. To mock this up a bit, we could also, I also tried doing it like this, for example, where the items would be dropped from here to there and picked up here. But due to the water, the items would kind of float up here and might actually get stuck on this block here, where I place a new glass block. Even if we place this glass block on top of it, on top of the water, it would kind of be not as reliable, and the annihilation plane kind of failed to pick up some items when testing. If we place the annihilation plane on the bottom and the formation plane on the top. I also tried this, but we know that stuff in water kind of floats up, so, but we actually wanted to, it would be ideal if it would be floating down, because else it might not reach the annihilation plane really. So I'm going to show you now how to make the patterns. Yeah. So you need 2 blank patterns for the crafting of the patterns and an ME pattern encoding terminal to craft them. Yeah, I already input this here. So we need 2 processing patterns. Put the blank patterns here. Then first of all, the charged Certus quartz crystal pattern. That is just this. So we import the Certus quartz crystal and get the charged Certus quartz crystal out. Then for the other pattern, we import, we just want one. The charged Certus quartz crystal, the nether quartz, and also 1 redstone dust. And we get out 2 flux crystal actually. This is our second pattern. Now if we check here, these patterns are the same. Yeah, and we can actually, I'm just going to switch these out and input these here. Now let's autocraft a Fluix crystal. Now even if we input 1 here, it's going to craft 2 because the minimum amount is 2. There we see the items being dropped, and yep. So now we have 2 Fluix crystals in the ME system. So the new patterns we just crafted also work because they're the same. Now I wanted to show you how to build these systems from scratch. Now, as for the system to autograph the charged Certus quartz crystal, you need to place an ME pattern provider, on top of it a charger. The ME pattern provider needs to be connected to your ME system, your main system, where the autografting happens. Then on the back side of the charger, you need to place an import bus against it and connect it to the ME pattern provider via ME cables. That way the charged Certus quartz crystal will be imported back into the return inventory of the ME pattern provider, and the ME pattern provider obviously first places the regular Certus quartz crystal into the charger, and yeah, it's also supplied with energy by the ME pattern provider, so it will automatically convert the Certus quartz crystal to the charged Certus quartz crystal. Now I'm going to show you how to build this system to autograph the Fluix crystal. Let's just pick up all these items for filtering. Then there's ME pattern provider, a chest, a search bus, an import bus, an annihilation plane, a formation plane. Now some cables, ME cables. I've chosen the Fluix cables. They're just very simple to craft, but you can use any. And quartz fiber to block off data from networks but not energy. A water bucket and glass to encase the water. Let's go into survival for this. And just run this cable off here. Place the ME pattern provider, the chest on top, the search bars to the side, the ME import bars on the back of the chest, the quartz fiber on the back of the pattern provider. Let's filter in the search bars for Fluix crystal and in this import bars for charged Certus quartz crystal, redstone dust, and nether quartz. On this block, go back 1 and 1 to the right. Now build up 3 blocks and encase it in 4 other blocks on the sides. Place the ME annihilation plane on the top of the middle block. Run a cable off from it in the direction of the search bus. Jump down. Break the extra 2 blocks on the bottom. Place the formation plane on the bottom of the middle block. Break the middle block. Place a water bucket inside of it through this gap. Filter the formation plane for charged Certus quartz crystal, redstone dust, and nether quartz. And don't forget to click this button to drop the items. Then let's run the cable along here, 3 blocks, to the formation plane from the import bars. Place a cable down there for energy from the main system. Place a quartz fiber on this one and run the cable up to the ME annihilation plane. Yeah, we're still missing the pattern. Let's just steal it from this one. If I'm not mistaken, this should be the finished system. Let's just test it. Actually, so import our charged Certus quartz crystal, redstone dust, and nether quartz into the system, and craft the flux crystal. Let's have a watch. And as we can see, 2 flux crystals were returned. Now, if you want to speed up the formation plane, you can put acceleration cards into these slots here, and it will speed up how fast the formation plane will form or drop the items. As for the storage bus, you can't put acceleration cards into here, it will be instant. Okay, so we verified that this works. These are identical. And yeah, this is the end of the tutorial. I might make another one for crafting the for auto crafting the Certus quartz crystal. But this was it.